Around 30
Sweet.
minutes, so 28. I'm going to say 28. I'm going to say 29. So 10 seconds. Get ready, Nathan,
Yeah.
And we're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me pull up the Call of Duty stuff again. Oops. Let's go. What's up, Nathan or Naterbutter? So what?
Not much, dude.
Okay, so what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Esports Reports Podcast, episode 1. Gonna be covering a few esports to start. Covering esports is a lot of work, right, Nathan?
Just four of them.
4 of them.
Dude, we looked up so much stuff for this.
So much. There was literally, esports is growing. There's a lot. And, if you start looking, you can find a lot of things to look into. And it can be overwhelming. It can be very overwhelming.
Oh, for sure.
So, I'm Corey, or KernelCory. And
yeah, I'm Nathan, a.k.a. Naterbutter. And me and Corey decided to do this podcast. And basically, we've known each other for a long-ass time.
Yeah, grew up, same street, we didn't go to school together the whole time, but kept in contact, Xbox, but friends since we were kids, so.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And, before we get on into it, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to credit, some of the people that we used, got information from, may have read something, and just want to give credit where credit's due, places like Esports Talk, Dexerto. I don't know if that's how you say that. Do you know how to say that?
No idea. Zero idea how to say it.
Then Call of Duty Intel, I think I saw one thing from them for sure. And then, plenty of Call of Duty teams, the leagues themselves, and all the leagues we cover basically got information from their sites, other people who report on it. So, if you make a podcast about some type of esport and we see it, we want to thank you. You help out a lot. It's interesting to react to what other people are also reacting to. So
dude, it's hard to gather all the information we need, so it's nice having all those other people out there.
Makes it really easy. So let's get into it. We'll get into the Call of Duty League to start. So otherwise known as the CDL. Yeah. So as of right now, they're about. We're gonna go run you through the past month or so that's gone down in the Call of Duty League. Catch you up to this weekend if you have no idea. So this is for y'all. Okay.
Oh yeah. Start with launch weekend, man.
Okay, so launch weekend. I don't know if you didn't watch launch weekend. Understandable. Moved everything to YouTube. Hard to keep up. I don't think many people actually kept up and knew it was on YouTube. And then event, no one pulled up. The crowds were dead. At 4:30.
Dude, no one was there. It was empty.
No one, dude. And then if you want, they quit doing walkouts because of the coronavirus. But they quit doing them a week ago, and they were cringy in the first week. People were cringy.
Dude, the little high fives and stuff are just, spreading too much bacteria. The viruses, dude, it was game over. They couldn't do it anymore.
No, dude, it was just weird. At 4:30, we don't need people doing walkouts and trying to get you hyped up. I don't know. It was not. But other than that, launch weekend was kind of just, a little introduction, getting everyone back into Call of Duty. But back onto the real thing that happened, after that was London. So London was a lot more interesting. Call of Duty has a good format, I think, where it's every time they play, essentially, there's going to be a winner. There's going to be a winner of the weekend. And people like to see winners.
Yeah, that's true, because a lot of these other ones, you look at it and it's they're just playing games to play games for later on. But Call of Duty, there's a definite winner and stuff, and it's interesting because you can do so much more with predictions and whatnot.
Yeah, it's you get to see you kind of get to make up little stories, who you think's going to pull up and win. And even if it looks one-sided, you really never know what can happen. And with it's kind of you don't get to watch a team play 1 or 2 games. Potentially, like, we get to see teams go on runs. But
yeah.
So with the London event, it was kind of what I guess people expected. Chicago Huntsman won.
Because FaZe wasn't there. That's the literally only reason, man.
But that's how I see a lot of these going. If FaZe or Huntsman there, they're the favorites without a doubt.
100%, dude.
So it's like, even like, look, and then you look at Atlanta, and then I guess you say, well, if we didn't see them play, like if they had played at Atlanta, then we would know who's the best. Yeah.
Or at least like there'd be something to debate about, but then Huntsman just freaking choked the chicken on that.
But it almost just adds to it. It's like, okay, well now we just keep thinking, ooh, well, what? Well, they still would have won, They would have won.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And then it would have been nice, I guess, to see. It would have been nice to get a quick a matchup early on. Like, okay, first time they can play each other, they play each other, and then who wins, and then so going on to the next one, like, are they gonna just win again, or are they gonna? But now we don't get that. We get a different storyline. We get the build up to when it does finally happen.
Yeah. Dude, I was just happy with Atlanta, because group stage, obviously, Group A, freaking FaZe destroyed. Group B, Huntsman destroyed. But then after that, we had some good games, with semifinals and stuff like that.
No, I feel what you're saying. It's kind of I guess it's nice that the groups, the semis do kind of live up. They are decent games. In all the events so far, every semi has gone to a game 5.
Sunday's been a good day to watch.
That's fact. So
the Lord's Day, man. Been some fun shit on the Lord's Day.
But the finals have been bust. The matchups have been bust. No close.
They've been sweeps.
Nothing close. But
God dang.
Okay, so you want to go into we're going into LA? Going into the part I've really been waiting for.
Hell yeah! This is the exciting part.
Okay. So LA, you want to give? Okay, so what do you want to do? We just going through give your group.
Dude, I want to hear your group A. Give me your group A,
okay.
Who's coming out on top, who's coming out on bottom, the whole in between.
Okay, so here. We'll go. Okay, I'm going to list off Group A. So Group A, if you don't know, is Minnesota Rocker, Seattle Surge, Los Angeles Gorillas, and then Optic Gaming Los Angeles. So it's okay. I think you got to pick Minnesota. I think Minnesota has now established himself as someone that's gonna. I think they finished second. I guess thinking here, in their mind, they should be thinking no less than second. If we don't win it all, we should get second.
Okay. And so you got them coming out first in your group A?
Yeah, I have them I have them winning the 2 games straight up and going on Sunday.
All right, I got the exact same thing on my plate.
Okay, then I've been going back and forth all day. The more I watch, the more I kind of get ooh, well, I don't really know. But there's a lot of Optic. There's no changes, but everywhere else on this, the Seattle and Los Angeles, the Gorillas, they're making changes. And
big changes.
I don't the thing is, it's more about picking which team do you really think is going to lose both games. And I have a hard time picking one. And
yeah.
I guess based on everything I've been hearing today, they've been hyping up AM players, and they're saying amateur players, I guess, are generally right now at this point they're saying amateur players are better than pros. They know the game better, essentially.
Okay.
I guess pro players are slacking, and then now pro players are trying to catch up. So they're making it sound like all these amateur players are going to come up and do really well in this next event. So I have a hard time believing that the Gorillas are going to lose too. I really think the Gorillas are going to surprise, but I don't want to see Seattle.
Who's your 2, 3, and 4?
Oh, I have no idea.
You gotta make a decision.
Right now, I'm putting Seattle as my 4. I'm gonna say they're all old, and based on that, they're gonna go. And then Oh, I want Optic to win, so I'm just gonna pick Optic. I feel like they have.
As your 2?
Those are my 2.
Oh God, man! What's your 3? So your 3 is Gorillas.
Yeah, I guess Gorillas are 3.
Okay.
Who do you have?
God. All right, so obviously I got my number 1 is Rocker. Okay. Freaking Rock the Bedman. Number 2, I got Gorillas because I like the changes. I like the changes Gorillas doing.
Oh, you're doing Gorillas?
Gorillas. See, yeah, they're my 2.
Yeah, they're definitely trending up, but.
Dude, they had a whole ass team swap. 3 out of 5 of them. Freaking. Okay, first of all, Aches, Layfield, and Saints are all on the bench. And then Blast, Spark, and Vivid are in. And so, okay, I'm honestly really excited for Blast because 1, they've paid him way too much damn money for him to be on the bench. It's ridiculous. And then I feel like with this, like these changes coming in, and like they have something to prove with that. And people are talking now about like Aches getting paid so much, and then like what if he retires because he's getting benched? And like I don't think any of that shit matters, but I feel like the 3 guys going in are definitely gonna like want to prove themselves.
Okay, so I was watching a Rocker podcast today, and they I don't know, one of the assistant coaches for the Rocker, I didn't catch his name, but he was saying that Vivid is like in his mind the best AM player. So he's the best AM player. And then Spark is coming over from FaZe Academy, who I guess won the FaZe like AM event last event. So it's like, dude, I feel like I don't know. I guess it's just if you can if you are that good, can you play? Like, why haven't you been playing there? So if they show up, it'll be good.
True.
Whoever comes out of Group A, I don't think I'll be disappointed. I think we'll get good games.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and then so I put my 3 as Optic because like in the end, I definitely want them to win. Okay. Like I want them to do well, just because to me it dates back all the way like MW2, freaking like Optic Predator and stuff. Like everybody wants to be a damn Optic fan. Like they want to see them succeed.
You can.
And then
yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and like they got a good lineup and stuff, and like freaking what's his name, Quavo, like that dude's got an ego that's insane and whatnot. And I know they got like internal issues probably, but Seattle Surge is just so mediocre. Like they're just when it comes to mediocre teams, they're just right there. So they're definitely at the bottom of my list.
I'm really not. Yeah, I'm not a Karma fan, and I mean he was on Optic last year, but I'm not he's not my favorite on like the original, like the I guess now Huntsman. But I don't feel like I don't want Optic to go like 3 events and still not have a win. Like if whoever comes out it, like if one of them comes out of this, like if Optic comes out without a win, oh my gosh, like.
Dude, I don't see them winning though. Like at this point right now, how they've been performing, like nah. I don't see them beating FaZe. I don't see them beating Huntsman. I don't even see them beating like Florida or Rocker. Like I just don't see it.
I don't know. I mean, they need to at least get 1 win. If they like Optic finishing this weekend with 0 wins will definitely be the biggest. Like, won't be the biggest surprise. It'll be like, well, yeah, they say stuff, but they don't really do stuff.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, all of them are getting paid a shit ton, and so I almost feel like this one time somebody was like, yo, if you got in a ring with Mike Tyson, like, would you fight him for $1 million? And it's like, yeah, dude, like, I get the shit beat out of me for $1 million, And, like, I feel like that's what Optic's doing right now. They're just like, yeah, we're getting paid, so let's just lose. Like, who really cares?
True. That's very true. I mean, okay, so yeah, those are your 4. I think my 4 is, besides the 2 and the 3, I think my 4 is kind of lined up with yours. It's not too far.
Okay.
So, give me your Group B. You run down first, and I don't.
All right, my Group B. I got number 1 FaZe, obviously.
Clear.
All right, so up until today, I had Florida as my 2.
Okay.
But now that freaking Panini is not playing, I got Empire as my 2, Florida as my 3, and his Subliners as my 4.
Okay. Okay. Even before today's announcement, Pristini choosing to go to the bench for personal reasons, I still have Florida. I think Florida loses too, straight up. I don't think they. I think it'll be the biggest shock of the weekend. They go from 2-0 like finals appearance to we're not even playing on Sunday. I think that's personally how I thought it was going to show up. Then so Florida's my 4, FaZe is my clear 1, and then. Personally, I want Empire to win, and I want them to be there, but
yeah,
I think Subliners. I think Subliners is a sleeper this event. I think everything that's happened, just drama.
So you got them at your 2 or 3?
I got them at my 2. I got Subliners on my 2. And
oh my god! No.
And I think really you come down to it and you look and you say, okay. They haven't been playing well, for whatever. Like they get an event because last time they at least won a match, so I have faith they'll win.
Hey, wait, repeat that one more time. They won what?
They won a match. I mean, dude,
a match. They're trash, dude.
We're picked an Optic to win, and they haven't won a single game, so we can't go as.
Hey, you're picking Optic to win. I just think Optic's at least better than Surge. I don't think they're good.
Okay, but I think Subliners. I think with all the censor stuff and Pop's censor, I think Pop's censor low key. I think calling your whole Suns team trash, I think it makes them play a little better. And then they did make changes.
Yeah.
I think they play on Sunday. I don't know if they beat Minnesota or FaZe, but
okay, so you got Subliners because of the censor stuff going off, as in Garrett's trying to FaceTime me right now, but I got you think censor all that stuff going on is gonna influence them to play better. I think it's the complete opposite. I think it's just an internal breakdown. They're just imploding from the inside. This Papa censor shit, and it's one of those things. Did you see his apology on whatever he posted it on?
The Pop censor, I did.
Yeah. Dude, it was the most insincere shit I've ever seen in my life. It was literally just
I didn't feel that way.
I didn't like it, man. I didn't like it. I think that the whole thing's just going to make... I mean, it's not even Censor's a starter.
Okay, here's my real thing. Would you do that if your son played, NFL football? Probably not. I don't think you would. I think you, but... There have been family members, significant others who have made comments on social media about, someone, a relative or someone closer than playing professionally or something. And I think it's stupid. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's so dumb. It's a whole dumb thing. It's you're trying, you do something detrimental to your kid when he's trying potentially he might have might be on the come up and you kind of set him back.
Yeah, that's true.
But
that's true. All right, so looking ahead of that, so you said you have FaZe as your 1, Subliners as your 2, and then Empire, and then Florida.
And then Florida. I think.
Okay, so our group B is way different.
I mean, okay, so I just don't think Florida. I don't think Florida's going to win.
All right.
And if they do, it's in spite of Pristini. It's in spite of Pristini, to kind of show maybe they hear in their heads oh, y'all just got carried by Pristini all the whole time, and then they're well, no, we didn't. We're going to pull up. We're going to show you. But I don't think they. I think they did get carried, and I think they'll lose.
Okay. So, I guess going into the semi-qualifiers, so your qualifiers, we have the same qualifiers with, oh no, ours are different.
Yeah.
Because my Group A qualifier, I have, what's their names?
Rocker.
Yeah, I got Rocker.
Gorillas.
Yeah, No. It's the qualifier games.
Oh, okay, the qualifiers.
So I got Gorillas and Optic.
Okay.
And then... Which I think would be badass because also it's an LA showdown at that point.
If they play twice, that would be cool.
Exactly. And so I got Gorillas coming out on top of that because I just don't think Optic is like gonna perform. Even at that point, if they're playing half decent, I don't think they're gonna like shine in the spotlight.
Okay. I mean, that's probably the best thing that could happen for the event. Those teams play twice.
Oh yeah. And then so your Group A qualifier would be what?
So it would be. I'm thinking it would be those two again. It would just be them.
Okay.
And so I think...
What? Who comes out on top, man?
I mean, I hope Optic, but...
Dude, everybody hopes Optic, but realistically, what you thinking?
I realistically think they'll turn it around at this event. I will pick them to... I think they're going to play on Sunday, play in the bracket. The bracket to win it all.
We'll see, man. We'll see. I don't see it, dude.
The best thing for the Call of Duty League would be for Optic to win it all this weekend.
Yeah, the best thing for the Call of Duty League would to bring back bring back Courage, bring back Nade Shot.
I think viewership wise and just like storylines, I think this could be the best. Like if Optic somehow made it with FaZe, I don't think they would. Oh yeah, we were waiting for this one. Like even if FaZe wins, they don't care. They're like, dude.
Yeah, but it's not like you got refs that you can pay and be like, hey man, like throw this game for them. You know, it's actually like they gotta perform, and I don't think.
Dude, honestly, I've watched. It's crazy that I've watched enough Call of Duty to be like, I've seen some stupid shit. Like I've seen them replay a whole map after like. When only in like the last 5 seconds they were like, oh, I got an issue, like my controller's not working. And I'm like, dude, because I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, dude, like they're not a team that wins that every time. Like, and now you're taking them away. I'm like, dude, come on, they're definitely
like that shit with the tie, the freaking Florida and Optic last time on that domination with the 146 to 145, and they called it like a tie, and then they're like, oh wait, no, Florida won. They just decided to change their mind on some horse shit.
I don't know how you can see a score that clearly doesn't indicate tie and then be like, okay, well, let's keep discussing. I'm like, dude, the game, I think that's one of those times like I have a hard time believing saying the game didn't say that it's a tie.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think things like that happen in Surge, kind of. I think it's more of a, but that's why I'm not a fan of domination. But
that's fair.
Either way.
Yeah. All right, so Group B qualifiers. Yours is going to be Subliners and Empire, right?
Okay, yeah.
Who you got coming out of that?
I mean, I think I really, like, in my heart, I hope Dallas, but I feel like Dallas did well in London, but I don't, like, so they have made the finals. Like, they're equal, in theory, to the Florida, but I just don't, I think this is just one of those things, like, you have to take a guess. You have to take a gamble and say, I think Subliners do beat Dallas. Even though I hope that Dallas wins. And I think Dallas comes back stronger and then they win the Dallas event. Perfect.
You see, I don't think that, like, all right, so in your scenario, if it's Subliners and Empire, I'm still doubting Subliners. I don't see them winning. Like, I just don't see that shit going on. But it would be cool to see, like, Dallas go, and then when we watch them in Dallas, which we are going to, would be freaking awesome. But, like, I don't know, dude. I have no faith in Subliners right now, especially, like, after all this internal shit going on and all the drama. Like, I don't see it happening. I
gotta tell you, I feel it. I feel it in my gut. Like, I'm a sucker for those. You know, they could have a little pep in their step from this.
Little pep in their step. We gave them a little Adderall to move on.
Why not? Either way.
Yeah. All right, my Group B would be Empire and Mutineers, and I think Empire would just run all over them. I don't think Mutineers without Prestini is going to do well. Like, I just don't see it. And so that would make my semifinals would be FaZe and Gorillas, and then Rocker and Empire.
Okay. So FaZe. Okay, so FaZe and
I think we
Guerrillas,
have this.
and then
Yeah, we got the same first semi, which is FaZe and Gorillas.
okay. So FaZe and Gorillas, or FaZe versus whatever Group A team comes out, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think I take FaZe every day. On
Yeah, not even a contest.
And I mean, I have to. There will be a potential LA FaZe, which I think that will help views. Like, I mean, I don't know if Call of Duty League's broken 100,000 viewers on YouTube. So just to put that
I have no
in
idea.
perspective, like, I mean, I'm just saying they don't average a lot of viewers, but okay, real quick, I want to run through this because I've thought about this. Okay, so Call of Duty League averaged last year probably like not at events, just general streaming matches was probably like, when it's not a big team, it's around like 30 to 40,000, like 50,000 for like maybe 100 Thieves, and then Optic plays, you might get into 80s. So it's like if Optic plays like FaZe, that would be good. Like Call of Duty needs to hit a good peak viewership at some point.
Yeah, it'd for sure be good for promotion. Like, promote the sport, build the sport, but I don't know, dude. Like, I get what you're saying. Like, logistically, it'd be awesome, but realistically, just no. I mean, I don't see it.
It's just I guess really who comes in this weekend with their changes and says, even like maybe you start off rough and then you like, even though we made all these changes, like we need to like hold true to them and stick with it. But yeah, anyway, your weekend ends with FaZe. FaZe is the end all be all. Bye bye.
Oh yeah, I mean, no matter who FaZe plays right here, FaZe is winning. They shouldn't even broadcast the damn game. Like, they're just gonna run through them.
Okay, and then then you got Minnesota.
Yeah, I got Minnesota and Empire.
I mean, I feel like Minnesota, I think Minnesota came in with high expectations. I think they want to win this, but like I think they think like, dude, we went toe to toe with FaZe. We should be able to beat anyone. So
yeah, that's true.
And the more I do this, the more I'm becoming a Minnesota fanboy. So I'm rocking.
I do like them. But okay, honestly, I was gonna research this and I never did. But what the hell is a rocker?
I couldn't tell you. I will say.
Is it like some kind of Viking? Because like going off their little logo, it looks like the Fortnite skin Viking.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even tell you what that is. But then any random, like, here's the thing, like you have all these teams with mascots, and then you have Optic Gaming LA, like. Anyone who doesn't know Call of Duty prior, that's just like, what is their gaming in, like, I don't know. I get the idea to keep it, but like a person might actually think a FaZe is like a FaZe, you throw it. I don't know. But either way, is that so FaZe versus whoever. So FaZe versus Minnesota, you think Minnesota wins?
Oh yeah.
You do?
Oh wait, do I think they win like in the finals?
You think FaZe wins? Who wins? FaZe or Minnesota if that's the finals?
All right, finals. Like I have the same thing. I got FaZe going against Rocker, and I got FaZe winning. And I think it's gonna be a 3-1 with FaZe winning. I think Rocker might win like the first one or the second one, and then FaZe is just gonna be like, we played with you last time, and we ain't trying to do that shit again. So let's buckle down and like just run through them in the last ones. And so I think FaZe wins one, loses one, and then runs through them on the last two. Okay. And it's one of those things like if Huntsman was there, I think it'd be a little better. Like maybe go like 2-2 and go to a fifth game. But like with it being Rocker, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Okay. So here's what I want. I think last time I would factor in like. So it's FaZe last time when they played Minnesota, it was their first game of that day, like on a stage where Minnesota gets like the other game. You get a game, then you go and you scrim another team, and then you get your game. And so I think they come in hot, but I think this time, I think they do get 3. I think 3-1 is nice, Like, if they go 3-0, I wouldn't be shocked. But
yeah, true.
Even if it goes, Matt, even if they do pull, I don't see them winning. I think the game. I think like here's how I view it. Minnesota Rocker has to play a perfect game across like all like overall. They have to play a really like tight game. Like we're not gonna make mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's how we're gonna win. But like I think FaZe can fuck around and then they'll still win. Like they don't have to play as like we can mess up here and there and we'll still win.
Dude, because their freaking lineup is nutty. Like FaZe's lineup is insane, and then like Rocker, they got some good talent like Assault and what's his name, Silly, and GodRx had a great tournament last weekend. But like, I don't know, FaZe's with like Abizi and Celium and all them, like it's just ridiculous. Like I don't see if FaZe wants to turn it up and just run over them, they can.
Okay, I mean I see FaZe more like I don't know if it's like I just say like I think FaZe is just I mean maybe that's just younger. Like they're all generally kind of younger. Maybe like how much does like being young and having a quick reaction time like really play into it? And then you're kind of fresh on it, you know. I don't know what goes into like their regimen and how they actually train. You know, it'd be interesting to know more things to be able to make a more like informed like. Well, this player does this specifically that I think makes a huge difference.
Dude, we all know how they train. They sit them in a freaking like 2x2 closet with a screen in front of them and a controller, and they're like staying here for 24 hours, and they just play and then keep playing, and then they shit on everybody in pubs, and they're like, dude, I'm the best.
Okay. So when you're sitting there, so let's transition away from that. So when you're sitting there for 24 hours. And you're trying to focus, you know, potentially like Adderall, you know, might make it easier. So,
I guess dude, Adderall could possibly make it easier. I mean, it's debatable.
So just in general, I mean, more on like, I guess okay. So Adderall and kind of the esports context. First off, Adderall. Adderall's a drug that is given to kids diagnosed with ADHD, to where you can't pay attention. Essentially, it's hard for you to pay attention. So Adderall helps you focus. Would be an easy. And then I guess you have, from what I've been hearing and other people say, you have less eye fatigue, and there are other benefits.
Eye fatigue? I haven't heard that, man. I just know it gives you that locked in zone. I guess that time when you're just like freaking going. They're like in that constant mood the whole time.
My thought, I guess, with the eye fatigue thing, it's try to go to sleep after you take an Adderall. I guess it's not one of those things you can go to sleep on, and that's good. I mean, I have taken Adderall before, and I will say like going to sleep wasn't easy.
That's fair.
So I guess that's how you would say eye fatigue, how you would say that. But
okay. I mean, okay. But with it being in esports and a whole talk about it going on right now, like, do you think it should be monitored?
Okay. I don't think... Okay. Here's what I think. On some level, when I think of Adderall... Okay, so Adderall is supposed to... In theory, taking Adderall will benefit you in professional sport, like competitive esports. I guess that's the theory behind why we should ban it. Because so it's a positive drug. It's having a positive impact on your performance in theory. I don't know how you can prove that. Can you really prove that? Can you say, well, he took Adderall and he went 25 and 19, and he took Adderall, he didn't, and he went whatever, and it's worse.
Dude, while they're practicing in their little 2x2 dark closets, just give half of them Adderall and half of them not Adderall and see how they do after 24 hours. Yeah. This is an easy solution here.
Like, is that really? But then there are so many, in my mind, there are so many other factors that you could point to, such as roles or, knowledge, just other things. So then it's like, it essentially is on the equivalent of like in regular sports, like a performance enhancing drug, but I think as of right now, you can't say like, well, when you take steroids, like their impacts coming in the future could potentially kill you. Adderall, maybe it can kill you. I don't really know. I don't know all the bad side effects it could happen. But
all right, well, like, okay. I mean, Adderall's a stimulant, you know, but also like freaking cocaine's a stimulant. So if you're giving all of your team cocaine and then they're going out there and playing, are they going to perform even better because they're just, you know, like, I don't know, huffing the blow and everything and just going freaking hard, man?
Okay, so on that, you know, Adderall is something that you can get, like, legally. A prescription drug, and I guess you can't say, like, well, there's some forms of, hard drugs that you can get legally and through prescriptions. But Adderall is more regularly prescribed. So here's, like, I guess here's my end-all be-all. I feel like every player, if you have a prescription, you're allowed to use Adderall. If you have a prescription, you're allowed. As easy as that. Now, here's where I guess the question comes in, like, are you really diagnosed with ADHD? Because, like, maybe you can get any doctor to say that. You know, the right
Dude,
doctor.
in college, there was literally a doctor in town that you knew that if you went to and you were like, yeah, when I study, I just can't pay attention. And he'd be like, oh, you have ADHD. Here's some Adderall. Like, it was just a known fact. And so if you're telling me these gaming communities can't just find one little, like, Indian doctor over here and be like, yo, man, he's got ADHD, I swear. And he's going to be like, oh, you're right, man. Like, here, Adderall. And then there we go. Everybody has Adderall.
Like, yep, you got it. But, see, exactly. So, in my mind, like, if you have a prescription, that's a pass. Like, we'll give you a pass. And then it's completely so essentially it's optional. If you want, like, if you take it unregulated, then I would say, okay, well, we set easy rules to follow, and you just went around the rules.
Yeah, true.
And then it's like, so punishable if you don't have a prescription. If you have one, you're good. Then, I mean, obviously, it's just the question of who's, like, everyone may be on it. Like, if everyone wants to be on it, then it's essentially a level playing field.
Okay. Well, here's a big question for you then. So, do you think that teams, especially like Optic right now with 0 points, should try to hop on the Adderall game while it's unregulated before all this shit goes down? Because then they'll start playing better. And if they start playing better at that point, then they're going to be like, oh shit, we got to get rid of this stuff. Because we just made the most trash team in the league do amazing.
I don't think esports currently or anytime soon is going to be looking to be like, we have an Adderall epidemic. We need to somehow exclude pro players who are, like, helping build for this. I think they're not trying to. I don't think Adderall is going to be enforced, and then the bans are going to come down and, like, we're getting you. I think it's going to be like, okay, guys, here are the rules. We're not changing much, but here are the new rules. I think small change first.
All right, that makes sense. But, I mean, if I'm freaking Optic, I'm putting that shit in a syringe and I'm juicing my dudes up, man. Like, this whole weekend, they got to get 4 doses before every single game, and then they're going to go wreck shit.
I mean, it makes you wonder, like, I mean, I bet teams do have okay, well, I wonder how much it's encouraged. That's kind of really what I'm curious about. If someone were to speak on, like, yeah, they were really encouraging us to use Adderall.
Just tweet it out to him, man. Be like, yo, dude, you ever used Adderall? Just make it like a nice little sly question. Not anything intense, like, oh, do y'all use Adderall regularly? Just shoot it to, like, Simp and be like, hey, man, like, you have some ADHD today, you know? And then, like, just do it before every game to, like, every player and see what they reply.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. I feel like, I guess I hope they aren't. I mean, but I can understand. I guess if you're scrimming all night and you got to play all day, it probably is hard to pay attention.
Yeah. I mean, but, like, in the end, you're getting paid for that shit, so you got to perform anyways.
I mean,
here's the plan, man. When they come to Dallas and we go watch that, we just bring a ton of Adderall with us and we just try to slip it to the players and be like, hey, man, I need you to only slip it to, like, the certain teams. So that way we know if Adderall has an enhancement in their gaming.
Well, here's what you do. You go and you get your bag of Adderall, and you go up to the dude who's like the security guard and be like, oh, yeah, I'm here to see so-and-so. And then they're like, oh, yeah, you got all the Adderall. And then you'll know because then he's letting you in because all the players take Adderall, and they were looking for their plug to come in at some point.
So what I'm hearing here is that we should become the overall provider. Yeah, that we should be the Adderall provider to the Call of Duty, to all of esports, man.
That's probably a big. That's an up and coming market.
It will, dude.
To esports leagues.
We just need to go find our little doctor that'll be like, oh yeah, I'll prescribe them all. Don't worry.
He's probably making tons of money. Or doctor, I don't know, what are doctor names? I named a doctor I actually knew. Okay.
You got it.
I think it's maybe, and here's this is what I was thinking of when we were talking about that. So it's like, maybe the reason FaZe is good, theory, potential theory, no truth to it. They're younger, generally younger. Their good players are really young. Maybe their Adderall lasts longer because their body doesn't process it as quick, so they're like focused even a little longer. So like, even though they took it all day, like, here's really what probably should be monitored is probably the amount of Adderall these people take. It's probably not them taking it. It's probably the amount. Like, do you think they take more than one a day, or like whatever?
More than one a day?
Like,
I don't know, because
like one, and then they're like, oh, it's kind of wearing off. Like, and we got a match coming later. Like, let me take another.
Well, do you think they take like one fat dose during the day? Just like right before their games, they just take a fat like 1,000 milligram Adderall? Or do you think they like before each individual game they go and just take a little 100 milligram Adderall? Just be like, oh yeah, I need this fresh pump. I need this fresh focus, man.
I bet they take 2. I think 2 is. I'd say on average, I bet every player takes 2.
2 like 10,000 milligram ones.
Whatever, like 2 normal doses. Like, so if you take one pill, like say like you take one pill every day, like they take 2. Like, maybe they take 1, and then, I can understand, I guess they're like, well, the match is, like, coming up, or whatever, like...
Yeah.
Like, the match isn't
but also,
later. Like, I've been here, like, say you're FaZe or something, and then, like, you have to say, like, you lose your first match, and you're the first match of the day, but you end up having to play in that final match, which is, like, an elimination match at the very end of Saturday, so, like... I mean, you play at... What is this? One of them says 11 p.m. So say you play at 11 p.m. and you played at 12 p.m. that day. That's 11 hours.
A whole 11 hours?
Yeah.
That's true, man.
But then...
That's true.
Yeah, then you got to stay up all night because you took an Adderall. Rough. Then you got to take another Adderall because you...
In the morning?
Oh my gosh. I'm living their lives.
Dude, it's just it's a rinse and repeat.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we got on that. So.
All right. Do we got anything to say about the Papa Censor stuff? His tweet or Instagram post?
I mean, I guess it was pretty accurate. Like, your team, well, no, your team isn't terrible, but they haven't played enough. If he had roasted on him, if they had played bad at this event and then he roasted on his son's team, and they're like, put my son in, like, then I could understand. But it's premature. Too early.
The thing is, like, why does he gotta go and then be like, oh, he's trash, and then his son is like a proven leader and proven this, and it's like, is he really though? Like, I think the dude's hot-headed as shit and causes way too much damn drama. And so this guy's dad going in there, it's just like supporting that.
Yeah, his dad kind of shows like, hey, his dad does it too, that's where he gets it from.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, dumb decision. Like, I would hope my parents wouldn't do. I think my parents are a little smarter than that, I would hope.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A little more conscious.
Yeah. And this, like, I feel like this adds so much to, like, dude, there's so much drama in Call of Duty. Like, if you think about it in the past and everything, there's so much drama. Like, compared to every other esport, everybody in Call of Duty is just, they're all hot-headed. They're all like just want to be pissed at each other the whole time.
Yeah, it's one of those like, I mean, it's one of those sports like, I guess more this year it's a little less, but it's kind of like, well, actually it's not. They do talk shit. Like, it's like they talk shit to each other. Like, other esports, they really like, you don't see them like talking shit out in the open about one another. Like,
yeah, for sure.
I'm fucking better than you. Like, you're terrible. You're trash. Like Overwatch, they all bow, hug. Well, like, I mean, I'm like, dude, okay.
Hey, they can't hug anymore, dude. Freaking coronavirus.
Definitely not. It's pretty true.
Yeah, dude.
But I mean, also like, okay, hypothetically, if you get famous, is your parents changing their name like Papa Naterbutter? Like, come on.
Dude, my parents wouldn't have anything to do with it. They'd be like, you know what, done well. It's stupid that it's in video games, but I'm happy for you. So you just go on and do that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get how every parent's not like that. Like, in the end, like, of course you want the best for him and everything, but also, like, chill. Like, this isn't a difficult thing here. You don't gotta go, like, trash everyone.
Like, I don't know. You shouldn't be trying, like, why are you trying to have that big of an impact? Or, like, and especially nowadays, it's like everything you do is so, like, so out in the open and then so criticized. Like, you say anything and you're someone.
I bet Papa Sensor was, like, back in the 80s, like, high school hero. Win the state championship like 5 times because he got held back 1 year. Like, nah, dude. Just, it hurts me. It hurts me.
Yeah, it's just interesting dude. I don't know. Like, and then like, when you post something, if you're gonna delete it, like, dude, someone got it. Like, if you post anything in, like, someone will screenshot it. Like,
oh, for sure.
I don't know.
Dude, it can be up for 30 seconds. Like, somebody's taking it.
I don't know what, like, it's like, it must be like, if you have this many followers, when you post something, if you post something that someone thinks, like, could come back to get you, like, they screenshot it. Like, I don't know if it's 5,000, I don't know if it's 10,000, but some amount of followers that you have, that's the moment you gotta start watching. Like, oh crap, I can't do that because they'll get me.
Yep.
Okay.
God dang.
So, you want to talk about this crazy CSGO? What?
Oh, freaking shaded.
Oh, this crazy CSGO woman.
I just want to touch on it real quick. All right, so Shay, she is a former CSGO pro. She is Brazilian. Okay. And she got accused of embezzlement and supposedly has been charged with 116 years in jail. But the funny thing is that the max sentence in Brazil for embezzlement is 30 years.
Yeah. So do you know where she's facing charges? Like, would she, like, serve time here, or I mean, obviously, I guess she would prefer to serve in Brazil because it's only 30.
No, it's all through Brazil.
Okay. So, like,
yeah, so she's appealing it right now. And while she's appealing it, she's blaming her dad and her ex-partner, which is some girl, I don't know. She just
soccer team, right?
Probably, dude. She probably beats her ass too. Yeah. But but supposedly they scammed 118 people, and these people were like, "Yo, what the hell?" And then since they put her name to it, then she's getting all the blame. So she's appealing that right now and kind of just throwing her dad and lesbian lover under the bus.
So you scam okay, wait. How much did she embezzle?
I don't know an amount. I just know it's 118 people.
Okay, because so she got 116 years, right? How many years in jail?
Yeah, 116 years in jail is what, like, all the reports and everything are saying. But the max in Brazil is 30 years.
It's so dumb. But, like,
do you think this is another, like, just publicity thing?
I mean, I like, Do you really see some like CS:GO pro going to prison for 30 years?
Oh no,
like,
no way! I don't even see him going to prison for 30
like,
years.
Do people like? I feel like you hear all these stories about just someone like wherever doing whatever, and they got all of a sudden they have to do 30, 100 years in jail, and it's like, but you never really hear about it. Like, I don't know if it's because they go there and then they're locked up for 30 years, so I'm not going to hear about it for 30 years. And then it's like it just never happens.
I don't think it ever happens.
All this stuff
especially
happens.
With this stuff. Because, like, basically what I think is going to happen is they're going to give those 118 people their money back. And now everybody knows who the hell Shay is. Because beforehand, okay, I don't watch too much CSGO, but I've still watched some of it. Like, I know big names. Have you ever heard of this girl in your entire life?
I've never heard of this girl.
Exactly.
I'll get into CSGO when we talk about Valorant, but CSGO is not my thing.
It's outdated, dude. It's outdated.
Oh, I got some roasting on CSGO. But either way, want to move on to the next league we're covering?
Yeah, dude.
The one of
Let's
Legends.
jump into the League of Legends, the LCS. Only North America, because who really cares about the other one? They all have coronavirus right now. Like, we care about North America.
Okay. So, basically, let's jump up let me jump through all my league stuff now so we can see it.
Sweet.
So basically, how the season's been going, as we can see, Cloud9 dominant, 12-0, 12 games, 12 wins. Then you have FlyQuest. Everything I've heard, they said FlyQuest has proven them to be a clear number 2. But as of
they've played well.
Like as of right now, Cloud9's in the playoffs. So
yeah.
And then you have you have 3-way ties for 3rd, and I think it's a 3-way tie for.
4-way tie for 6.
Oh god, I pulled up Immortals. Yeah, but so it's a 4-way tie for 6. We'll jump into that. So I mean, it's kind of. I mean, here's how do you rank these? Do you want me to like? I mean, I think CLG is trending up, even though they're 10th. I think they're gonna finish better than 10th overall in the end of the season.
CLG. Okay, so. Do you want to go ahead and just go through the power rankings, like what you think it's going to turn out throughout the year?
Yeah, I would say, okay. So right now, here's how many teams make playoffs? I want to say it's 6. I think that's what I saw, and it would make sense. 6 out of 10 make playoffs. Okay. So Cloud9 in, FlyQuest in. As of right now, so out of these 3, I put Team Liquid number 1. So Team Liquid came off 2 wins. I put them number 1 going number 1 out of the 3s.
Okay, so they're your number 3 overall.
Okay. And then honestly, I'll put TSM then Immortals.
Okay.
And then out of these, this is kind of just 100 Thieves didn't.
Gotta get into the mediocres, man.
Yeah, I know 100 Thieves didn't look great, but I don't know who I want to put as 9, but. Oh god. Let me go back to the schedule and give it a run. Give an idea. Let me think.
Wait, who's your 10?
My 10
Who's in the bottom?
Oh, yeah, my 10's not CLG, right?
Yeah.
Oh goodness. I like 100 Thieves, but I think they're 10.
Oh shit.
I think they're 10.
100 Thieves, man. Be number 10.
Either way.
Okay.
It's a sad day for Nate Shaw. Sorry, bud.
All right.
Okay, but then I'm. So, I don't know. You got anything you want to say on any of those? You feel they?
Oh yeah. All right. So for my power rankings, I got C9 1. They're playing insane, and okay, honestly, I'm very surprised because. They got rid of Sneaky. Well, Sneaky retired because he went full streamer mode because he's going to make a hell of a lot more money doing that. Even though he dresses like a girl in his cosplays, which is weird. But whatever. Whatever floats your boat, man. Okay, I got FlyQuest as my 2. And I think they're playing real well right now. I don't know how. And I guess freaking Power of Evil, their mid laner, should be happy because CLG... Power of Evil was on CLG, And then this man goes and gets replaced by freaking Crown, who is like, he's a Korean player. He's known to be amazing, and he's a really good player. But he's played like shit. I mean, CLG just dropped him. And so he got bumped over to the FlyQuest, and they're doing insane right now. So that's good for him. My 3, I got TSM. I just like, okay, honestly, I've always been kind of a TSM fan. One of my good friends is like TSM diehard. And I think they're starting to play a little, my friend Trey.
Okay, it's not Andrew. Okay. I know.
Yeah.
I know he's,
and,
I know he, I figured out about TSM, I think, from him.
Okay. Yeah, but I think after this weekend, you'll see TSM doing better. I think they'll definitely, instead of being at 6-6, they'll go up to like 8-6, or even if they end up being like 7-7, like I think they're gonna trend up from here.
Okay.
And then I got Immortals. I think they're just overall better than Team Liquid, but also with this whole double lift thing getting benched and him like not being motivated to play, I'm surprised. And so I can't put him, like, I almost put him at 6, honestly. But Tactical got replaced him, and Tactical played really well last weekend. They went 2-0 still, so we'll see how things go from there, dude. And then I got, basically the rest of them are my averages. Then I got Dignitas, Evil Geniuses, 100 Thieves, Golden Guardians, and then in 69th place I got CLG, dude, because I don't think they're going to do much better. I love Pobelter, dude's awesome guy. I like watching his streams and stuff. But in the end, like, I hope they do well, but I don't see it. Like, I don't see them going up.
I mean, that's fair. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion.
Yeah, but mine's right.
Okay. So, we'll get into predictions. I'm going to ask you some questions, and we'll see kind of how you feel about these games.
Okay.
So, I know we talked about this yesterday, and this is how we knew we were going to have to do it like this. So, okay. So, first question. Cloud9 winning both games. And
nope.
What?
No, they're not winning both games.
Okay, so who are they losing to? Are they losing to TSM, or are they losing to Golden Guardians?
Dude, their first loss is going to be against, the very first game is going to be C9 TSM, and TSM's going to win.
Okay. So it's bold. It's very bold.
All right, so my reasoning behind this is TSM got destroyed last weekend. Okay. They were sitting at 6-4, lost both games, and now they're 6-6. And okay, Bjergsen, their mid laner, that dude he's awesome, but he's also a very angry guy. And so I think he's gonna try to whip everybody's ass into shape. And then going into this C9 game, they're just gonna be like hype, just like ready to play well, ready to do well, and they got a good team. Like, I love Bryofrost. Kobe is playing decent. Broken Blade, that dude's insane. Like, I think they have so much potential to do well, and I think they will do well this week. And so if they start off like strong against C9, as long as TSM this year has been they've had so many games that will go like 45 minutes plus, and it'll be like 4-2, like it's watching a damn soccer game. And then in the end, somebody scores, and that's it. And nobody gives a shit. And so I think TSM is going to come out with like a little shit in their neck and want to actually like spice things up. They're going to want to go for kills. They're going to like make shit happen.
You think the early game's going to be pretty lit?
Yeah, I think early game they're going to mix it up. They're not going to play as safe.
Okay.
And I think if they're not playing safe, they're playing like.
So okay, random. Total has no way to know. Over under. We'll say over under 15 kills total by 15 minutes. Or no,
for what?
We'll say by 30 minutes. By 30 minutes, you think there's going to be over 15 kills total or under?
God. Okay, I'm going to say under.
Okay.
But if it's under 12 kills total before 30 minutes, TSM's going to lose.
Okay. Okay, we'll have to. I like that. So you have Cloud9 losing first game. They win their
first game of the weekend.
They beat G.
Are they playing right now, or did they finish up already?
Who?
Cloud9
No,
and TSM.
They play tomorrow.
They do?
They play March 7th. Yeah, it's tomorrow. It's March 7th.
Okay.
It might be Academies or it's LES right now. But no, it's not LCS. Okay, so what was my next question? Okay, so do you think TSM will beat... Okay, so if they beat Cloud9, they can beat FlyQuest, right? Is TSM going to beat FlyQuest? Or you think
TSM? I think TSM beats FlyQuest.
Okay, so TSM then would have 8 wins, right? They'll have 8
Yeah,
wins.
they'd be 8-6.
So 8-6. FlyQuest would be potentially 9-6. So they... Okay. So you think this will be... TSM's going to definitely... You think TSM's going to sweep. So they just shit the bed last week, but we think they're going to just turn around and be the best thing ever and beat both the best teams.
Okay. I don't think the best thing ever. I think they're going to win sloppy, and when they play sloppy, if they, like, I think they're more skilled than the other teams, like, individually. Okay. So if they're playing sloppy, they're winning sloppy.
Okay. I just think that's funny. That's a funny way to, when I put it like that. Okay, so... So, okay, my next question was going to be, do you think, because I personally, I think Team Liquid is actually going to come out strong this week, and I think they'll win both games. I think Liquid will beat, even though I want CLG to trend up, I don't think they're going to just clean sweep this week. I think they'll lose to Team Liquid, and then Liquid will win against Immortals as well.
So, I have CLG beating Team Liquid.
Okay, you have CLG beating Team Liquid? Okay.
Yes. And, like, okay, I like Team Liquid. I think they have a solid team, but just with all their shit going on right now, and, like, okay, honestly, I love Core JJ, their support, but CLG, like, I feel like they're going to come out kind of hungry, and I feel like Team Liquid's not going to be prepared. Like, they're going to almost be like, oh, CLG sucks this year, like, this will be easy, and then they're just going to get mowed over.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. I feel like CLG beating Evil Geniuses is reasonable, and then I mean, Team Liquid's coming off 2 dubs. They won twice last week, so, whereas you're predicting these cold teams to get hot and these hot teams to get cold. That's what I'm saying.
You see, I don't even think you can call Team Liquid hot though, because Tactical being new, like, he played well, but also, like, I feel like he got that beginner's luck, you know?
Okay.
And if he got that beginner's luck, that means that this weekend it's all out.
I'm excited.
And so he makes a mistake, like, I think this weekend will be fun. I think there'll be some good games for sure.
Okay. So, who do you... Okay, so you think oh gosh, I keep doing that. So you think TSM's going to be a close number 2. Anyone else not... Is there anyone else you see that's going to go 2-0 or not going 0-2 or going 0-2 that's going to surprise you? Or you think they're just going to get splits, kind of? They win one, they lose one, you know?
Yeah, I got the most of them splitting, except for... Oh, goodness, where is this other Dignitas game?
I mean, I could see... Dignitas doesn't look like... They could sweep. I mean, 100 Thieves, Golden Guardians...
I think Dignitas wins both their games and, like, kind of finally sets them a little bit above the average.
Okay, so they kind of jump from that 6 into, like, that top 5 range.
Yeah. Okay. Honestly, like, Dignitas reminds me of, like, Season 8 and Season 7 League because of Huni, Froggen, and Aframu. Like, love all 3 of them. Freaking great players. As long as they, like, perform how they should perform, I think they win both games.
Okay. So, what do you... Okay, if you had to pick one game to watch, I think I know what you're going to pick, but what do you think is going to be the best game out of this whole weekend?
The best game? I mean, the best game, I think the first game.
Okay.
C9 TSM. I think that game.
Okay.
And Immortals Team Liquid will be a good one, too. It's like the second to last game of the weekend.
Okay. I mean, I guess I think FlyQuest TSM was kind of my pick. I mean, it wasn't. I guess either way that TSM Cloud9 game goes, that game kind of has a lot of carry, you know.
Yeah, that FlyQuest TSM game though, I think that'd be a good one.
Okay, and then I think that'd be probably that's. I guess the CLG Team Liquid one might be good, but who knows?
You never know, dude. You never freaking know. League of Legends.
Okay, so I think we're kind of wrapping up. That's League. That's about all we got for League, right?
Yeah, that's just League, dude. There's not too much. I mean, with it being like the spring split right now, everybody's just playing one game at a time. I'm busy.
Okay, do what you need to do. I'm just getting a book. How are you?
Dad.
Is that what's up? Doesn't make it better.
All right.
It doesn't.
So, well, okay then.
Okay.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Of course. So, okay, so on to what do you want to talk about out of these three? So it's really a lot, you know. Valorant, Project A, whatever you want to call it, the newest multiplayer game that's gonna grace your screens, that is gonna trend on Twitter and be the talk of the town for however long.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, okay. So it's getting so much damn hype right now. It's ridiculous. And like also, I think it's wild that Riot is making this. Like the maker of League of Legends is making this game, which is totally weird because first of all, like Riot has like 2 games. They have League of Legends and some really shitty one, and then they're gonna make Valorant, which is like their first person shooter ever.
Okay.
And so I kind of want to know the like exact people making this, because like, I mean, we're going to have the exact same answer for this, but when you watch the gameplay, what does it remind you of?
I mean, okay. The gameplay looks like CSGO. But
yep.
Like that's like, here is how I actually went and thought. I broke it down in one sentence. How I would describe the gameplay is a CSGO shooter with Overwatch-like abilities, some of which are viable, and essentially that's how I would say it. And then if you wanted a kind of idea of what the game they're playing, so like if you've never watched CSGO and just like, it's Call of Duty Search and Destroy only. Like you're only playing Search and Destroy. So
yeah, just like CSGO.
That's kind of how I would put it in one simple sentence. And I feel like here's why I think the game has potential. Because I don't play CSGO. I have no interest really in playing CSGO. But seeing this game, maybe I would play it. My potential to play it is higher than my potential to play CSGO.
Yeah.
That's my only.
And why is that?
Okay, so I think CSGO is just. I think when I see CSGO, it's too boring. It's run and shoot, plant the bomb. I mean, from just a spectator view and having no inside knowledge of, I guess, the nuances of the game, it seems pretty like, dude, we're playing a game that was made so. It looks like, when I see CSGO in 8-bit. It really doesn't look much different than CSGO now. Like,
yeah,
it just looks basic.
Dude, it's such a cut and dry game. Like, it is exactly what it is, and it's exactly what it's always been. I mean, hell, the game's 8 years old. And, like, congrats to them for staying relevant for that long. But, at the same time, how do you go 8 years and not have something more advanced by now? And so I think that if, like, Valorant takes all these ideas and almost, like, revamps them into their own game, I don't think you should blame them at all. Like, I know some CSGO people are going to be pissy because they're like, well, they're just taking CSGO's idea. It's like, nah, CSGO didn't advance. Riot's just taking advantage of like a new open game market because everybody's waiting for this next new like Fortnite-esque game. Okay. Everybody's ready for it.
So, yeah, I get what I mean. So, like, based on what you said, like, this new game is kind of, I feel like it doesn't, it's a game, CSGO never kind of like, I guess how games have updates nowadays, CSGO isn't really updating, like, oh, here's the new thing we're doing, like, the game's changing a little bit, and, like, even with, I guess, look at a game like, okay, Rainbow Six Siege is kind of, I kind of put it in that sort of category. It's a little different, but in the sense is like, even though they're always shooting each other and they're always going to be shooting each other, there's new characters that change the game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know what changes the game or what makes you stop doing certain things in CS:GO. And last thing is like, they do the same thing for 16 rounds or so, and then they switch and do the same thing again, basically. And that's too long. Like, dude, you have these.
It's a long game, man. I
don't even care. I'm like, dude. And then, like, oh, he died. I'm like, it really, like, it's so, like, I saw it in the feed, but did I really, like, see anything?
Oh, yeah. No, there's nothing to see.
And originally, like, okay, so that's kind of what, like, Shroud was kind of saying, like, well, it's so simple. Like, the way I understood what Shroud's idea of Valorant, he's like, well, when you play CSGO, you throw flashbang, you throw smoke, you see it. It's clear. It seems clear and obvious to any viewer of that. And I get that point. Like, when you throw in firewall, well, like, acid wall, people aren't, well, I don't see acid wall in daily life. Or, like...
Well, okay. I guess what I think comparatively to that is, like, Overwatch, how many viewers do they have? Okay. Like, on average.
So, Overwatch, end of last year on Twitch. Overwatch, first season, 100,000 viewers. Easy. Second season, 200,000.
So, when you first watched Overwatch for the very first time, did you know what the hell was going on? Did anything make sense?
I played Overwatch before I watched it. So, I have some basis of idea. But I have seen, so Overwatch has been able to put it on ESPN, like on TV. And like I saw tweets, I saw Facebook posts of a dude, like an older guy who watched it and had no idea what was going on, but found enjoyment out of watching it, you know, like, oh. Yeah. And yeah, it's cool. Like, you don't know Overwatch is a little too chaotic almost for an esport to where it's hard to keep up. And there's not a traditional, like, angle to show that captures everything that's going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, when I first watched it, you take a minute, you're like... But you start to learn, like, oh my god, but you see, like, oh, sniper headshot, 3 guys, that's good. I know that's good.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking here with Valorant... It's like that same scenario where like there's so much going on and so many different things going on that people are eventually going to figure it out, but also it's still entertaining. Like you still see what's happening, and also with it taking like aspects of Overwatch and CSGO, like I feel like they're producing such a good like esport game. Like, I feel like this game is so based towards esport and going into the competitive scene. Because if you look at it, it's 5v5. The map's very, like, it's very visible, like CSGO and everything. And, like, things aren't going to change too much. But they have so many aspects of being able to change the game simply through, like, all those viable abilities. Okay. And so I feel like they're setting themselves up for success. But I feel like everybody's so committed to it and everybody's, like, picking apart every little thing about it, and it doesn't even have an official release date yet. Like, it's in the summer, but who knows when the hell that's gonna happen.
It's really like it's a game that has a lot of potential for sure. Like potential because you like we take the shooting mechanic that every game like that people love to see, and then we throw in abilities, you know, that can have other aspects, and then in the future we can just add characters to change the game, or we can rework the players we have to always make changes. And but here's the problem, and it's kind of like Overwatch. You get into a meta where everyone these are the 5 that are played, and that's what you play. And then so does that start to get boring? Is it boring to always see acid wall? Oh, well, acid wall. Well, that's why we run hard counter acid wall. This dude, whatever. But I think that's a problem down the line. We haven't gotten to that. And, we'll see we've now kind of seen, like, well, maybe the trick to solving that is to do bans in games, like in League and Overwatch now. But
yeah.
But my other thought is, like, they made this game with the idea of Overwatch isn't on Twitch anymore. Somewhere that whole 200,000 viewers that they were getting didn't make it out of Twitch. Not all of them made it out of Twitch to Overwatch. So we have these viewers who are in a no man's land that we can get. Then we're trying to steal from CS:GO, which averages a huge amount of viewers. So there's destined to be some people who watch CS:GO that'll be like, "Ooh, I'd watch Valorant though." Like that's a little more interesting if the CS:GO isn't that great. And then I guess you throw in these abilities to kind of say, okay, well, the kids that don't watch CS:GO, we'll get them because they'll like the characters or whatever. And so you're trying to they're trying to build a kind of they've kind of got an idea of where this is going to fit in, and I don't think they think it's going to take away from League at all. I think we have this game, and we know exactly what we're going to get.
I think they're smart, and they know what they're getting out of it. But I think they just have to make sure they don't push the competitive scene too early, because it's one of those things eventually it will go stale, like how Overwatch is doing bans now and whatnot. Like it got stale. Everybody was doing the exact same thing, and that can't happen. Like nobody gets entertained by watching the same game over and over and over. And so I feel like they have to go through this game, put it out public, make it free for sure. And then have everybody play it, everybody love it or hate aspects of it, and then add characters so that way they have different options for the picks and bans.
Yeah, I mean, at least to keep people coming back. Like those viewers you'll lose naturally from new game came out, I'm going to go play that. Oh, but I'll go back and play that because new guy came out.
Yeah.
You have to capture them. Okay. So, moving on. I guess that's kind of... Did we get it all? I feel like we got all of that.
I mean, you didn't mention, though, that I am officially a pro Valorant player, man.
Yeah, Valorant Pro statuses are being given out via Twitter bios. You just insert... You insert how you're a Valorant Pro, and apparently that's the meme that Twitter... The meme that Valorant has become is...
Dude, I put it into my bio, and I'm waiting for everybody to call me. I'm waiting for Team Liquid and TSM and E-United. I'm just waiting for my contract, man. I mean, I'm prepared.
Don't worry. Franchising for Valorant League is definitely on the way soon.
Maybe we make our very own Valorant professional team before the game drops.
I mean... I'm on it. I can make the changes as of now, I believe. Let me go to Twitter and officially make myself a pro. Let's go.
Dude, we can be team owners, players, and managers. We can be the team in its entirety.
What do we need? Hashtag pro. Well, gotta make it all one word so people know. Boom.
Yeah.
Free agent.
And did you see that? Oh, free agent, spicy. Did you see that Noted, who used to be a CS:GO pro? He put in there. He was like, "Oh, I'm a pro now." Blah blah. And everybody's just ripping him. Not just a couple people. Everyone is just ripping him. It's hilarious.
Okay. So. Man, we still have... It's crazy. I'm like, dude, we still have so much. Okay. Let's get into, I guess, the big worry with... What's the biggest worry on every streamer's mind right now? It seems like Seems like everybody's got something.
Everybody's freaking out because freaking like streamers like Courage JD and Dr. Lupo and TSM Hamlins and Daquan and Myth, they're all freaking out because like Courage is the one that like expressed it the most because he put out all those tweets about how he doesn't want to play other games other than Fortnite because he doesn't want to like lose his followers. And whenever he gets on and nobody else is on to play Fortnite with, he doesn't want to sit there and sweat his ass off to try to like impress people to keep his viewers. And so this guy's going and like, he's like, yeah, I don't want to stream half the time. And he's like, I want to make sure somebody's on at least to play with me. And like, I think it's one of those things that like,
okay,
I don't think streamers should be scared.
Okay, so here's what I kind of take away. So you don't want to play a game by yourself. You want to play with other people because in theory, like winning is easier with other people. Courage doesn't promote himself as a pro gamer, and you know that's kind of the thing. It's like, dude, battle royales are like, if you're an entertainer, like you have to play with people because you're not getting the dub every time because you're good. You have people.
Yeah, you can only make fun of yourself being trash for so long.
Exactly. And then it's kind of like, here's my thing, like, so you're scared to play, but it's nothing money, right? Like, you don't think it's like, okay, well, if I lose followers playing Fortnite, like, I am going to, like, I can't afford to not play Fortnite. Like, it's not that, right? Like,
I don't know, dude. I think it might be for part of it.
I think at some point it does become that. Like,
yeah.
Like, dude, here's the thing.
It's their livelihood.
Like, you blew up on Fortnite, so like, even though like you never established yourself as enough of a variety streamer to say like to be able to step away from that, and then you went and branched out to some other platform where trying to support that isn't going to work.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole different beast. Like, it's a whole set. Like, if you're freaking Courage and you want to go play CSGO instead, that's a whole different, like, beast of watcher. And so trying to, like, those CSGO people that always watch CSGO have their streamers that they like to watch. They're not going to go just be like, oh, Courage is on here, maybe go watch it. Yeah. So, like, that drop in followers, it's insane. Like, it's honestly something to be kind of worried about.
In my mind, it's like, okay, streaming, like you do build around like one game, and so then it's like you have this like, well, I guess that's what I just said, you know, about the variety. Like someone like XQC, like he can stream whatever, and he averages around that 20,000-30,000, and so
he's just built that.
Yeah, you have like. Here's the thing. Long-term success in streaming, I feel like you can't, like, you either stick to that one game and you're always going to play that. Everyone knows you're going to play that. And you will have, I mean, eventually your followers probably will die off to some degree, but you have to, you're not going to have everyone's attention for all of time. And, like, take Tfue, like, as we said earlier, like, we'll get into his publicity stunt, but, like, you get people's attention and then they start to fade. Like people fade for one reason or another. And so you have to be like, well, here, like by switching to CSGO, you see who the real Courage fans are. You see like, okay, this is what I've really got. Like if you take everything away, I have this 3,000-4,000 people that always watch.
I think in the end, when the best way to do it, like the best way to be successful, to stay relevant with like your viewer base is to like be diverse from the start. Like Fortnite comes out, stream a lot of Fortnite, but also every once in a while throw something else in. So that way like you're diverse because, okay, my biggest, like the person I always think of when I think of staying relevant for the longest time is Jericho. And that dude's insane. Like he plays a billion different things. And because he plays a billion different, like his CSGO videos get the most views. 100%. But he still does stupid stuff like his shitty cooking, his what's it called, GeoGuessr, like all that kind of stuff, because like his other fan bases like it, and so he's making sure he has fan bases in every, like, so many X, Y, and Z games or categories. Like, he's staying relevant because he's staying relevant in so many different areas.
You know what's funny with that is, used to be like the kind of trend for a lot of big YouTubers was to kind of like, okay, so I got my main channel, but then I got all these other channels you can go to and subscribe.
Yeah.
And then now it's kind of like
their Let's
totally
Plays and shit.
Swapped. It's totally swapped. Like, wait, people don't want to go to all these other things. They want to go to just where it's all at. And even if it's a pain to sort through, like, they'll find it. They'll learn to find it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, even myself, like, I watch a ton of you, and, like, going on there and seeing somebody, like, go more than 3 days without posting something, like Jericho does that, I'm like, dude, what the hell? Like, where's my next video? Like, so it's definitely a hassle, but also, like, that's their livelihood. So I know they don't, like, they know that's their job. Like, that's what they got to do.
Yeah, they have a clock. There's some pressure on them. They know, like, do this, and that's the thing. Like, you want to know who has a lot of success streaming? Pro gamers, because as you said, like, you have that variety. I can switch from, like, if I'm good naturally at all games, I can switch from Fortnite to Overwatch to Call of Duty.
Yeah.
With, like, when I still play it, I'm still in the top whatever percentage of gamers playing it, to where most people aren't as good as me, and they see and they're like, "Oh wow, and they'd be like, "Oh my god, this dude's," like, it's like Shroud. Shroud swaps around. Like, that's why people like Shroud. It's like, dude, he's good at PUBG. Oh my god, he's kind of good at it all.
Yeah, Shroud and, like, Dizzy and everybody. It's just like they're human bots, and people like watching that because they're good, and they get the feel of games really damn fast. And then, like, I think there's two ways to stay relevant, and it's one, to either be really good at everything you do, every single game you pick up, or to be just a all-around content creator and not limit yourself. Like, you're Jericho, you're Tim the Tap Man. Like, yeah, Tim was, like, brought up by Fortnite, but also the dude, like, you go onto his channel, he's not always playing Fortnite, and he's got a kid, and, like, so he doesn't stream near as much as he used to. The dude's, like, diverse. He plays Overwatch, and he plays CSGO sometimes, and sometimes he'll just sit there and talk for, like, hours. And, like, he's built such a good fan base. I think he's, like, another one that'll, like, keep going for so long. And so these streamers that are all worried and whatnot, I feel like they did a poor job of doing that. But at the same time, like, they were doing what got them views, and now that they're at this point, they don't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. I mean, you can only live on the hype so long. And
yeah, for sure.
And it's either, like, I guess it comes to time, like, okay, guys, like, if we're gonna play Valorant, that's what's gonna be hype. So, and then if Valorant dies, then it's like, well, guys, where are all these viewers gonna go? You know,
yeah.
And then, I don't know. They're even talking about they've been talking about Fortnite competitive, like, as a potential issue with some of these streamers. Or, like, just like Fortnite in general is kind of, like, dropped on the competitive scene, so it kind of, like, drops off. I mean, there are people who watch video games just solely because it's competitive, and so if you don't have that, some people aren't going to watch. And
yeah, like Lazarus, the team Lazarus dropped their entire Fortnite team. They signed them all for a year, and 4 months in, they all dropped them because nobody's sponsoring any tournaments anymore. Like, it's not like last year where you had, like, 5 tournaments throughout the year or something like that. Like, we're into March, and there hasn't been one.
That's true. I mean, literally, Fortnite was... I mean, and you know what's so... Like, I mean, I don't get on the game, so I don't know about the cash cups, but, like, you would think they could at least put those together, because those kind of drew an audience, you know, a weekly audience for people to... Something to watch. People like to watch competition. That's just what it is.
For sure.
Oh, are we? All right. Well, I guess we need to touch. I guess we'll get into that Banks and Tfue drama, sort of drama, publicity stunt. What are your thoughts on it? Kind of.
Dude, Tfue and Banks, they've been hanging out. Everybody knows that a while back, Tfue was suing FaZe just to get out of his contract and everything. And everybody was like sitting there all googly-eyed, like they were horny for the freaking publicity about it. And then it just kind of dwindled down after that. And nobody said anything. But now you see FaZe, Banks, and Tfue hanging out all the time. And it's one of those things like, are people... Like, I think it was a publicity thing. Like, yeah, it probably cost them like $1 million each or something like that. But in the end, after how much that went down, like you look at the video on YouTube of just Tfue talking about how he's leaving, and then the one of FaZe Banks talking about how the Tfue situation, like they made so much money off of that because of just publicity. And it's one of those things like with those two guys, I wouldn't hold it against them for them to be like, oh yeah, that was 100%. They're never going to come out and say it, but them saying like, yeah, that was 100% for the publicity of it, for like the money that would come out of it. Like, I believe it.
I mean, you got to like that week he was in the 100,000s of viewers on Twitch. So making Twitch, you know, any other, I don't know what other ways you really benefit off that. I guess, you know, brings attention to FaZe Clan. You know, you draw in viewers who didn't know about FaZe Clan, just things like that. But it's definitely like, if you never had if there was never like any legal action, and clearly if you don't really have a like, hey, well, dude, you brought all this shit on, we had all this like it was Twitter beef. Like, it's just Twitter beef. Like, all that people love to gas up Twitter beef.
Everyone wants to sit down on their damn couch with popcorn, sit there and just scroll a little bit and read all the comments. Weekend and the drama, man. Everybody loves the drama. That's why the freaking like Bachelor is so big. This is literally esports is the guy's version of a Bachelor. It's our drama.
The drama, you can find the drama.
For real.
Sports. And it's just, it's crazy. You don't even have to go too deep. But
nope.
What we aren't going to go too deep into is some Overwatch League. You know, we got a little bit going on, but nothing too, we can only go like, I guess we can't even we can barely touch on the subject because of coronavirus, if you know what I'm saying. So let me just jump into it. Let me pull up all my Overwatch stuff. But basically, half of the league almost has yet to play a game.
Haven't played a damn game.
And nothing. We are in week 5. Nothing has been said really aside from they canceled the homestand for the teams. And
yeah,
there's no talk of when these games are going to get done. You know, you got luckily, all the teams in this conference only played like twice at max. But still.
And the thing is, I saw something and people were talking about like the all-stars of the leagues. And I was like, what do you mean all-stars? Like, you can't talk about any damn all-stars. We haven't seen anybody fucking play. Like, well, what is this? There's no, like, they gotta have some kind of a plan so that people will quit talking just nonsense out of their ass.
Exactly. I mean, here's my thought. So I want to say it says it's 27 or 28 weeks, but how do you, okay, I don't know how many games they were supposed to play up till now, but whatever. So even if they get like, when are you going to fit all these in, and how are you going to do this? Like, and at what point does like, I mean, there's going to be some burnout. Like, these guys are going to have to play some games pretty rapidly. Because you don't think they're going to extend the league, the regular season.
Do you think it's realistic for them to go the rest of the season online and keep it off of LAN?
I think they will. I want to say so I want to say like the Overwatch Amateur League was generally done through online for the most part. So I think it is very realistic they would do that.
Yeah.
But
do you think that do you think that teams will start practicing like on like off of LAN now? Like pro teams will start like having their scrimmages online so that way they can start dealing with the latency now before competitions?
Yeah, it'll be. I mean, I think you have to. You have to just because if that's what you expect to play on, you kind of have to prepare for that. But then it's kind of like, who do you really think is going to like? What happens when like we go to playoffs, like, and then so say they play online. All their games didn't happen online. I don't know how much crossover is between the conferences when they play, and how many like say like if they only have to play like I don't know, whatever. Either way, somehow I feel like the end of this season is gonna get some sort of asterisk. Like we can't hold it. Like we're always gonna look back and say, well, you know, we can't hold that in the highest regard because we didn't get the honest results that we might have had we done it how we originally planned. And it starts to get you worried.
For sure.
Like things are. It's starting to seem like we're like you start to see it more and more in your everyday life, like coronavirus stuff. It's pretty crazy.
Dude, freaking coronavirus has ruined everything. I wonder if like the beer Corona is taking a hit because of the coronavirus or popularity. Because you think, like, think about it. You know, there's so many people that'll go to their buddies' houses with a 6-pack of Coronas and be like, "Hey, man, I brought the virus." Like,
yeah. I wonder.
It could be good for Corona.
I guess like there are definitely probably new customers, but I wonder how many people who are like, "Oh, well, you know, I used to buy Corona beer, but now you know this whole virus thing, I'm not gonna buy that beer." Like,
yeah.
I wonder if it'd be interesting to see is like this helping them or hurting them. And then, how much does random stuff like this actually impact like companies? Like
you gotta think of it though. Like, all publicity is good publicity, man.
Yeah, I know. Be like
maybe
they'll come up with when it dies down. You know. Okay, so when it dies down, do you put out an ad that kind of like jokes about it, or like how much are you gonna get sued? Like how much are people?
Hell no, dude, you can't do that. Yeah, okay, now that you say it, like I could definitely see them pulling that kind of horse shit, but like, nah, you can't do that. It would be funny though.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you. Someone like people who die. Obviously, anyone who knows someone who dies is gonna be mad. And I don't know how big that population is. And then there's certain
2%, man.
That's morally wrong to do that, but
yeah.
I think you do get you get a good laugh.
It's got to be a slight hint, you know. It's got to be a slight
we
hint
won't infect
towards
you, like
yeah.
Damage to your liver, not your whatever it hurts.
Exactly. Damage your liver, not your cells.
Yeah.
All right, we should trademark that before Corona tries to take it.
Definitely. Okay, but touching on the other Overwatch news, you know, so from what we have seen, you know, New York's always been kind of decent in Overwatch League the past 3 seasons, and Philly has kind of come. They were mediocre last year, but they're looking pretty strong. It's been interesting. Florida has been traditionally bad throughout the 3 years, and then Houston, year 1 was good. They had a decent first year. Overall they've been pretty mediocre. Both the Texas teams have been bad.
Yeah, Dallas and Houston have been struggling, man.
Dude, just not even.
Like, you have Dallas placed below 6 teams. Excuse me, 5 teams that haven't even played a damn game.
It's funny, they haven't even played, and yet they're still not the worst. Like, don't worry, you're still doing better than Dallas. And what I'm curious, I don't know when Dallas plays next. They play, I think, in February, at least.
Yeah.
But or in April.
Yeah, but with all these games going on, like, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You got like 8 teams. 8 teams with 1 win.
Okay.
That's literally 7th through 13th place. Like, Overwatch, the coronavirus has hit Overwatch way too hard. Way too damn hard.
Yeah, but it's also kind of this homestand format. This new, like, if we travel everywhere and only play a couple games, you get, like, it's hard to take it all in and be like, because like here's what I'm looking at. So in Dallas, it looks like they play week 8 and week 9 next. I don't know if that's for certain, but kind of seems what I see. Kind of seems like what I'm seeing. And if these new teams if these teams who haven't played by then we're really starting to worry. Like they're a third into the season, and like you should have a few games under your belt at this point.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. But
do you think so?
Okay, go ahead.
Overwatch. We are in week 5 right now.
Week 5. Yes, I think I said put that in my notes.
Yeah. And so we still have 17 more weeks of Overwatch. Okay. Do you think that, say here in like 4 weeks, all the coronavirus is blown over and everybody's playing, or here in like a week they switch over to online? Do they just scrap the first 5 weeks? Do you think it's just like, hey, this was just the preseason that we've never had before?
Ooh, that's good. I mean, here's my thought. There's no way I see this coronavirus stuff getting played down any less throughout these next few weeks. I feel like we're kind of in the thick of it. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And so, I mean, I think if we get through all 20, here's kind of how I base everything. If we can get, like, Rocket League canceled the finals in Dallas, so it's definitely happening in North America. Things are being canceled. We can say at least one. So if we can get through July, if we can get to like at least half the year and these events aren't getting canceled yet, then I'll be kind of curious. But I think they might just. I think it's gonna get worse. Like events are gonna get canceled, and I'm just hoping Call of Duty in Dallas ain't canceled. I hope it doesn't get that worse by then.
If I'm the commissioner of the Overwatch League, which I want to start calling OWL now, but if I'm the commissioner of OWL, I'm immediately telling everybody, hey, next week we're going to online. I don't care what you have to think about it. We're going to online so everybody can play. Because their viewers for sure probably, like, their viewing numbers these past weeks are probably just dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. And so simply for the sport itself, they got to put it online. Like, they just have to.
I mean, and then I guess even like you potentially save yourself from, I guess, some of the costs too that you might endure. So overall, it should be you would think it's a good move. But
yeah, you just gotta have some ballsy person to fly to China to sit in with the Chinese teams to make sure they're not actually cheating.
So, okay, I want to run through the new things that are happening in the Overwatch League, and that is mainly just the banning system. So every week now they decided they're going to get rid of 1 tank, 1 support, and 2 DPS characters to essentially change up what's become a watered down Overwatch League, where people are just running, we're running mirror comps, which is y'all run the same 6 characters that we run the same 6 characters.
Every time.
And so they banned, for this week, the bans that they showed live were Reinhardt, who has played 87% of the time, so basically always on screen. McCree, who has played 59%, and then Widowmaker and Moira, both around 10%. So it's interesting.
I think those Widowmaker and the McCree stats are very, like, buffered in a sense, because everybody goes and they pick a Widow, and then they go and try to get a snipe off the spawn, and then 10 seconds later they're like, oh, this isn't working out, so they go down to pre and change real quick, and then they go back to their team every single damn time.
Okay, so you think that makes a significant difference?
I think it should be like 80% Widow and 80% McCree, because they just, like, they're both played during the game.
Okay. I mean,
but
it'll be interesting.
Do you like the ban system? Like, do you like the 2 DPS and the tank and the support? Or do you think they should just go 4 overall bans, whatever you want to ban? Oh, actually, you probably can't do that, because if somebody bans 4 tanks, you don't have a tank.
It would be, well, I think they would still, it would be interesting. I think that should be discussed. Like, if we start banning 4 overall characters, we can change up a lot. Like,
Yeah.
It would be kind of interesting to see one week, like, oh my God, like, how are all the teams going to react to, hey, what are you going to do without 3 tanks? So right now in the meta, it's like, Reinhardt was 1, D.Va was 1, and then I can't remember who there was a third tank, I want to say, that was also really high in the numbers, but I think it would be interesting it would be nice to see massive change from week to week, and then see how teams handle that.
Yeah, give each team like 3 bans each of whatever they want to ban, and then just because that makes stuff real spicy. It make your people go get good with people they don't want to get good with.
I think it would also be interesting if we did this would come in more to coaching if we did depending on how long, okay, well, you only have so many days to come up with a solution, and because then you have to say, okay, so what do we think they're going to do? What are we going to do? Are we running the same thing? And then you kind of analyze mid-game, okay, this is what they're doing. They're running him. We can't just do that because of this. And it changes up. They could go on. They could make this banning system really interesting.
Yeah. And also, if you think about it, they can target ban people because, say, freaking Florida has the best damn McCree in the world, and they're going to ban McCree from him every single time, But let's say that, I don't know, Houston has the worst McCree player in the world, and they're going to give it to him every single time. I feel like there's so many options if they do it that way. I feel like they're almost limiting in themselves if they do it with the two DPS, 1 tank, and 1 support.
I think they could make a lot of... If this week doesn't... I think if this system doesn't get the results they think they want, if we still kind of get sort of stale games, everyone's doing the same thing, then I feel like we will get to a more extreme ban. And then, maybe a more delay, hey, you're not going to figure out until a couple days, so you only have a couple days to prepare. So I think overall, this ban, though, if we start making players get better at other characters, overall it makes all the players better, you think?
Yeah.
And it kind of shows...
Or at least diversify them.
It makes it to where... Okay, you could say it opens up more jobs. Hey, well, I'm playing, because that's how it is. In Overwatch League's a lot of subs. I play a good McCree, so they put me in for this map or whatever. And so then it's you either become really flexible and you can play everything great at a good level, or you're a specialist. You play 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And then
do you think that these bans are going to be beneficial for your good teams or your bad teams?
Okay. On one side with the bad teams, I guess you say, well, you're doing bad. Any change has to help. Obviously what's going on now is not working, so you need something to change. So it could help them. But then it's also, okay, are these teams bad because the meta is bad for their team? Or are they bad because their players just can't play what they need to be able to play?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think good teams are good. I think someone like NYXL, I think their team, they have a lot of flexibility, and they can do a lot of different things. So I don't think a team like that is going to drop off at all.
Okay, I agree with that.
But then
I agree with that, but also I think that I think it could spice things up enough towards your top tier teams might struggle more because they're playing with people they don't want to play with. And not that they can't get good with those people, but it allows so many more options to happen. It diversifies everybody, and you see how people are going to play with diversity, and maybe some people aren't going to play well.
Yeah, it'll be a good week. This is, if you haven't watched any Overwatch League, this might be the best weekend so far. That's a good end on. This might be the best week so far.
Very true, dude. Very true.
It's a good weekend for esports. But as we were talking about with the Rocket League finals, they were originally going to be held in Dallas, and I don't know how much tickets were.
Canceled.
Yeah, I don't know how much.
Gone forever, man.
Yeah, coronavirus right here in our hometown, our home area. So it's interesting. I don't know how much tickets. Esports events, I feel like esports events, they do sell that whole like, oh, well, you can get the VIP and you can pay $200 to see rocket cars kick soccer balls if you want. Or you can spend $30 and your experience isn't much different.
Oh, yeah, because it's not like these freaking stadiums are, like, very big. No. It's like, it's not like you're sitting, like, way up in the nosebleeds. Like, exactly. Nah, you're 20 feet back from the people that paid $400 for these shits that are just dumb. Like,
exactly.
But with, like, these things being canceled in Dallas, which is very sad because I wanted to go to that, but I guess this goes to the same thing as Overwatch in the sense of, do you think it moves online?
Where do they play? Like, do they not play online right now? I guess I don't.
No. It's LAN tournaments.
I mean, I think...
which is also weird because there's 3 of them. So it's just like 3 guys sitting across from 3 other guys.
Yeah, I mean... I don't know. It makes you wonder, like, if they weren't going to switch it all to online, why are they canceling, whatchamacallit? Like, why are they going to cancel the finals in a different state? So I feel
Wait, are they online right now?
I don't know. I guess so. It kind of seems that way. I'm not 100% sure.
Neither am I. I don't watch enough Rocket League.
Either way, online or not, I think you should anticipate more and more esports in this year to go more to online. And
yeah.
And I think I don't think that's bad for esports overall. I think it's bad for hardcore fans because they want to experience it. Like, you do want to experience esports in person to some extent.
Yeah.
You're really into it. But for the overall population, normalized online esports is probably better for the growth of esports as of right now, rather than the venues that you can only are doing so much.
I also think it's going to piss off a lot of pros though, because if you have one little glitch or like if you go to Overwatch and one guy is behind still dies and they lose the game, people are going to be mad, bro.
Refs. I feel like it's going to be annoying to be regulating these games.
Yeah, for sure.
Think that's something to look forward to. And then you got to think, with all the issues that might come of, well, we have to have the spectators in there, and there's, this code, we're having issues, and you kind of work out you think you work it all out, and then now that you have to you're like, okay, well, we finally got away from that, and then we figured out how to do it on LAN, and now it's we got to go back, and it was nice because we avoided all these issues, and there are issues with every situation, but I think the online issues are more unfixable, and kind of, they might not show the total, skill of a player. More hiccups could happen online than on LAN.
And also, you could have people being bitches. Let's say you got a freaking 4-3 game, and there's 30 seconds left, and somebody's keyboard isn't working.
Okay.
Then how do you, even if you have somebody there, you have to have somebody there in person to regulate that stuff. Because it's not like you can just be oh, sorry, guys. My mouse shit out on me. I don't know what to do. It opens a bigger variety for people to be unfair and cheat. But, I don't know. I think it's definitely a cause for concern, but it's necessary right now, for sure.
Okay. So, you want to jump into our standing, our breakdown of the league? Get into the teams and the standings and the predictions and all the...
Yeah, let's go ahead and hit them with the standings right now.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on them?
So, my thoughts... Okay. clearly, and G2 undefeated. NRG chilling. They're like, it seems like there's probably there's a big divide between who's good and who's bad in my mind.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I guess Cloud9's probably the biggest surprise. I wouldn't think Cloud9's a pretty big team, and I know they've been Rocket League champs before, so to be 1-3 closer to the end of the season, it's kind of something to forget.
And with like their lineup, like they should be much better. They should be performing much better than they are, and it's ridiculous to see like how they're doing right now. It's just like it's almost pitiful.
So okay, I don't know how many. Okay, so what do they play? They play once this week, and they play twice next week. Did they play any of the last week? So that's how many games? So they have 4 more games left. And right now they're sitting at 1-3. Any way they make the playoffs? Do you think anyway?
I don't know, man. I got them winning this next week.
Okay. So they beat. You picked them to win. You love Cloud9. Well, you hate Cloud9 in League, but you love them in Rocket League. So that's interesting. But you have them beating Space Station Gaming?
Got them beating Space Station Gaming.
Okay.
Because also, who the hell is Space Station Gaming?
I've never heard of Space Station Gaming until Rocket League.
I don't know if they've been big in Rocket League for a while or anything, but I had never started looking stuff up.
Here, like, in my mind, you're a big esports organization if you span multiple esports. So, NRG, Cloud9, G2 G2 it's more like, it's more like they're in the LCS, so it's kind of a little out of sight.
Yeah.
But like some of these, you've heard of, and then some of them, it's kind of like, well, if you don't know, like I would never know.
For sure.
So you got Cloud9 winning this week, so they hopefully maybe they'll get on the right track. Never know.
You never know, man.
I don't think Flight is gonna make it into the playoffs. I think they lose again this week. I think if you're picking Flight to win, I think you're just saying they gotta win one. Like they have to win.
Yeah, you gotta be a diehard fan or something because they're not playing well for sure.
Where did I wrote down something? Where did I write it down? I was like, Flight hasn't won 2 games in a set since week 1. So if you're picking them, please explain your reasoning to me.
You gotta be their mom or something. Like that's the only reason that you pick Flight.
Okay. So
or you had a dream.
Let me go down and I'll give us another one. I'll talk about the Ghost Gaming and Rogue. So I'm picking Ghost Gaming. Last week when I was going through, doing some research, last week Ghost Gaming had close game, lost to Sonics, and Sonics is hot. Now they're on 3-win streak. They're doing pretty good. But Ghost Gaming, I feel like they got robbed, and so I feel like it's time for them to beat up on a lesser team. So Rogue takes an L.
Okay.
Who you got winning E United GU or G2?
E United G2. I like E United as a club, but just watching what I've been watching, like, all right, Rizzo and Chicago and JNaps, like, they're playing dirty. Like, they're out of their minds right now. Like, just watching them play and like their little cohesions and everything, they're just playing so damn. Like I see them running through E United.
Okay.
Yeah.
So G2 runs through United. Is the Cloud9 game close? Did you say if you thought it would be close?
The Cloud9 game, yeah. I said Cloud9 wins. I think it'll be a good one, but like, I guess I'm saying this because like between like Gimmick and Squishy, like. Especially Squishy, they got big names. They got like good players, and I think they've kind of struggled, like playing together in a sense. And they've just like they haven't really protected the net well. And so I think if they like fix all that, which they're very like capable of doing, then they're going to be fine. I think they're going to win against Space Station Gaming and then kind of just like hopefully turn things around.
Okay. And so Okay. Do you have something?
Yeah, I just got the NRG and Knights game.
So
I got NRG.
You got NRG winning?
Oh yeah, I got NRG winning. Turbo's been playing really well. Justin's been playing really well. I honestly, off the top of my head, I couldn't even tell you who their third damn player is. But like, they don't really need them because those two are just playing out of their minds right now. And so NRG, like, they're doing big things. And Knights, who the hell's Knights? So yeah, I got NRG winning.
The only other esport I've seen Knights in, which is surprising, is Smite, which is really surprising.
Smite, man.
Smite Pro League, I want to say they were at least in it last year. But
well, all right.
I think Pittsburgh Knights, when we come down to playoffs, I think Pittsburgh Knights will fall out of playoffs.
I agree with that.
I think Sonics beats Knights, so I guess if you pick them losing and I pick them losing, that's 0-2. So end of the weekend, they're sitting 0-4. Cloud9 might be looking better than them, potentially.
Yeah.
So I think Sonics is just really hot. You know, tough win last week against Ghost, but I feel like if you can win tough ones, you can win them all. Like if you can win games that you shouldn't win, you should feel confident beating down bad teams. I would say I wouldn't expect them to lose until they get to one of these upper echelon teams, you know, G2, NRG.
Yeah, for sure.
So, okay, real quick. G2 and NRG obviously make it in playoffs, right? You'd say that?
Yeah, for sure.
So who are your next four?
My bottom four?
Your next four to make it.
So we got G2, NRG. I'd go probably Sonics.
Okay.
All right. Stick with me here. So G2, NRG, Sonics, E United,
okay.
Cloud9.
Ooh.
Space Station Gaming.
Space Station Gaming. Okay.
I didn't know that last one, honestly.
Pick one. Okay.
We're going with Space Station because they're out of this world, man.
Okay, so right now, you know, I think I keep the top five. I don't know if that's the order they finish in, but I think potentially these five could make it.
Okay.
For the sixth, I feel like Ghost will make it, but I think Cloud9 will make a run. I think they'll give them some hope. It's gonna be two of these three for that 5 and 6. It's gonna be either E United, Ghost Gaming, or Cloud9. It's a lot of openness, but I feel like Ghost Gaming will take the 6th spot, and E United will make it. But
all right, that's fair.
We'll see it all this weekend.
Yeah, Rogue sucks, Flight sucks. That's all I'm hearing.
Yeah, Flight's garbage, complete garbage. Okay. So, I think that is finally everything.
Dude, that's it.
We had a lot. We went, I don't think that was 30 minutes. I don't think that was 30
Dude,
minutes. It was a lot.
I think that was pushing probably like an hour and a half.
I think that was over an hour and a half. I think that was closer to 2 hours.
Closer to... Oh, shit, it is almost 7, and we started a little after 5.
But either way, let's wrap it up, you know.
Damn, man. Yeah, I mean, first episode, we had a lot to cover. It's not like we have this much to cover every time from here on out.
I think we could. I feel like in the future we can narrow down, you know. We don't have to recap, so I'll recap.
Yeah.
First, we covered a lot leading up into the sport, so into the leagues, so I feel like we can cut all that. Then we'll be able to potentially go down, either cover less on the topics, the intermission topics, or like...
You see, I think when we cut the recaps and stuff, and then we also take into account that like we're gonna have 2 episodes a week instead of 1,
Okay.
then like these are cut down way more because we don't have to make our predictions till the second time we do it, and we can make our recaps the first time. Like, I think we're setting ourselves up well. Just this first one was a bitch and a half.
Yeah, it was a pain. This wasn't bad though. I enjoyed.
Oh yeah, this was fun,
Hope
man.
everyone else enjoyed who sees this now.
For sure,
Later,
for sure.
In the future, at any point, thanks for tuning in. If you made it this far, wow. You're a real one, because it was tough for me to make it this far.
For real. Just skip ahead towards the end.
That's crazy. Okay. I'm gonna call it on the stream. I'm gonna stop the recording now.